Oh, what is going on, everybody?
Hello.
It is Pixelparters here, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Spirit of Justice. When we left off, we now have seen Sarge's real face.
Yeah, she's a cutie patootie.
Cute little girl.
And something's obviously up with Phoenix.
Absolutely.
Phoenix and what's his face? Politician.
The politician, yes.
Yeah.
All
Fun,
right,
wonderful name.
here court is once again back in session. Now, Mr. Wright, about that last objection you raised.
We, the plaintiffs, still believe the defense has yet to sufficiently prove its case. They claim that according to legend, the Founders Orb would bestow spiritual power, yet the relic in question has failed to do so, therefore it has failed its own test.
Like, this is something Winston Payne would say. Like, come on, Phoenix.
I see.
He's sticking with that ridiculous argument? Furthermore, even if it is the Founders Orb, it can't be awarded to the Defiant Dragons. After all, they were the ones who killed Dr. Buff.
Don't know that.
What are you talking about? That was already proven to be false. There are no grounds for asserting that the Defiant Dragons murdered the Doctor.
Exactly.
Oh, but I'm afraid there are, Mr. Justice. Your Honor, I would like to present new testimony to this court.
What?
Testimony that would show that Datsa Rebel did, in fact, kill Dr. Buff. What?
Nani?
Very well, you may call your witness.
I guess Mr. Wright found another new angle.
What new testimony could there be this late in the game? Is it just gonna be a politician up there with some blatant lie?
I don't...
Here he comes.
Probably.
Oh, man. Fellow citizens, it is I, politician, the once and future representative of the people. Geez, not him again. My client divulged new information to me during the recess. He remembered something he saw, you see. Something crucial to this case. How very convenient.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. That's his crime.
Phoenix, do you like write something down, hold up a sign behind Paul?
Blink twice if you're in trouble.
Yeah, right.
It was around 11 at night, and I was out on a mobile meet and greet around the village. That's when I saw Dr. Buff being murdered from outside his study window. Mr. Ribble snuck up from behind and struck him on the head. His weapon of choice? A suitcase. A big, strong man like him could easily swing a heavy suitcase into someone's head.
Yeah, but there was... What,
You saw the murders that happened? And you're just telling us now because...
Yeah.
I saved the best for last. It's a tactic known to all politician greats.
You don't do that in court.
The murder weapon was a complete mystery, but my client's eyewitness account has finally brought it into the light.
According to the autopsy report, Dr. Buff was struck in the head by the corner of some object. Suppose that could very well be the corner of a suitcase.
There's not really many sharp corners there.
No.
But eyewitness testimony isn't the same as hard evidence.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that if I were you. What's that supposed to mean?
Phoenix, don't make me dislike you. I don't like disliking.
We have physical evidence too. The luminol test revealed.
No.
Uh-oh.
I was gonna
Well,
say,
that's
where's the
uncomfortable.
blood?
The doctor's blood on Mr. Rebel's suitcase.
Oh.
But really? But how does that prove Mr. Rebel used it as a weapon?
Phew.
You should know the answer to that, Mr. Justice. Since you know as well as I that the suitcase is covered in his fingerprints. No, I forgot we dusted it right in front of Emma.
God.
Oh my God, he used a suitcase, what a killer.
Oh, Jesus. The turnabout terror strikes again.
This is quite convincing testimony and evidence. Nevertheless, you may proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Justice.
Understood. All right, Paul.
I hate you.
I don't trust politicians. All right, it was around 11 at night, and I was on a mobile meet and greet around the village. Why were you in a meet and greet at 11 o'clock at night?
People are sleeping at that time.
You were on a so-called mobile meet and greet at 11 at night. That's right. It's the perfect time because everyone's at home.
What?
You should have seen how the villagers' eyes cheered up when they have heard what I had to say. With tears of frustration,
Yeah.
no doubt.
They're like, fuck you, just leave.
You weren't riding around in your palanquin? That's right. Some village idiot reported me to the police. I've been banned from using after dark.
No wonder, what with all the noise he makes.
So what exactly did you see then? Okay, that's when I saw Dr. Buff being murdered from outside his study window. I call bullcrap. Sounds like you witnessed something rather shocking. Indeed. I didn't even believe it at first. I mean, a vicious murder and crying. There haven't been many murders there, I take it. If I'm elected, I promise you that such a terrible tragedy will never happen again. A vote for me is a vote to banish murder forever from our beloved Crying Kingdom. Sure.
Crying
Good luck
Village.
with that one. Crying Village. Fuck.
Very big difference.
Fuck. Yeah, good luck with that.
Mr. Titian Wimperson, please tell the court what you saw at the scene of the crime.
Let's just call him Wimp for short. Sup, Wimp. Mr. Rebel snuck up from behind and struck him on the head. He snuck up from behind? So you're saying the doctor never even realized Mr. Rebel was there? That's right. He was utterly absorbed in the book.
That's right.
I see. What did you see Mr. Rebel do next? He climbed up the bookshelf ladder and dumped a bunch of books down on the body. I believe he was trying to make it look like an accident.
I believe you're trying to lie.
But that idiot didn't realize that I could see everything from outside the window. One of those statements doesn't feel right. Oh, I know. Oh, I believe this made an important statement just now about how the doctor was reading a book.
Yeah.
Because he needs glasses to read. And he wasn't wearing those glasses.
Nope. They were on his desk, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on his little pyramid holder thing. The doctor was reading a book at the time of the murder? That's vital testimony.
Very well. I don't see how it is, but okay. Witness will please have that statement to its testimony.
You'll see. Rook going to B5 over here. That probably doesn't make any chess move sense, but I said it.
Rook going to B5?
I
What
don't...
is this, battleship?
You've sunk my battleship.
G7.
All right, let's just, he was absorbed in a book, huh? Well, these glasses say otherwise, because they were just sitting on the desk. Objection. Nailed it. The doctor was standing in front of the bookshelves, absorbed in a book, you say? I'm sorry, but it seems your testimony is completely unreliable. That's quite a bold statement. Well, let's hear you back it up. I'd challenge you to prove that I am anything but 100% reliable.
Nah.
Okay, it'll be my pleasure. Lately, it seems Doctor's eyes had gotten so bad he needed reading glasses. However, his reading glasses were over on his desk.
Yep. Like, they weren't even on the floor. You couldn't even say that they fell off.
So you see, there's no way he could have been reading in front of the bookshelves. Oh, fuck again. I'm sorry, Mr. Wimperson, but I'm gonna have to ask you to explain this little discrepancy to the voting public. You what? I'll explain to you, lowly cur.
Wow.
I simply made a mistake, you see. The doctor was actually sitting at his desk when Mr. Rebel hit him over the head. But then Doctor would have been facing him.
Yeah.
Surely would have seen him and tried to run. Dr. Buff was nodding off.
Stop
I could tell because
changing
his eyes
it.
were closed and he wasn't moving. Sounds about like what you would do. Then how do you explain the fact that he was struck in the back of the head? Isn't that something that should be impossible from the front of the desk? Oh, about that. He bowed his head when he nodded off. That's when he was clobbered.
So that's what you saw.
Come on, Judge.
Well, Mr. Justice, it sounds like a perfectly reasonable explanation to me.
Yes, he only just changed it 4 times at once. Yes, Judge, absolutely.
He went from reading a book to sleeping. That's very different.
All right, this could be a trick
He went
question
from
here.
reading a book in front of the bookshelves to sleeping at his desk. How?
I don't know. I will say a big
It's a
problem
big
for
problem.
now.
Yes.
We just have to make sure we can prove it. I'm sure there is. There is a problem. A very big problem. The witness statement doesn't hold up under the slightest bit of scrutiny.
No.
Is that so? Then will you please show this court what evidence you have to justify this?
Gladly, Your Honor. This shows the problem with the witnesses claiming that he saw the doctor nodding off. Whoops. Well, wait. I don't think it's time to use Arnie's statement yet.
No.
About
You mean Army?
Army, sorry. The night of the incident, Army fainted in the hallway above the coffee bar after witnessing the doctor burning the treasure. When she came to, someone was pushing her wheelchair. Frightened, she quickly tried to flee her room. She fled to her room.
I was gonna say
I couldn't read that one apparently at all.
Very different.
Struck in the corner with an unidentified object. Struck in the head. Doctor's reports. Email. That doesn't do anything for me. Huh. Because that's where it gets. I don't think.
Wait, that's weird.
What?
He said he was doing his meet and greet at 11, but the doctor's time of death was between 10 and 11.
That's always a rough estimate, but 11 still technically is in that realm. Because
That's stupid.
That doesn't have anything to do with the doctor nodding off.
No, I know. It was just a random thing I thought of.
I don't.
But what would he have about the doctor nodding off?
We don't, which is why I think we actually have the wrong answer. That there is no problem with it right now.
This is a red herring.
It might be one of those things where this might be the testimony we actually need. Can I back out of this? No, I can't. I have to. Obviously, it's Army's statement then. No, it's not. All right, I'm gonna reload on that one. I'll just say no for now and see where that takes us, and then we'll lose the case probably and have to rethink everything from the beginning again.
What?
That's the way it always goes. You pick the wrong answer, you lose the case. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. Anyways, let's go back over here, and I'll say for now that maybe it's no problem. Maybe it's exactly what we need. No, that's not the case at all. Because that, well, great. I've ruined everything. Excellent. So there is something that we have to have here, but I just don't know what exactly is the problem with him nodding off. I'll have to look at everything again. But I have to pick that it's a big problem, so excuse me. It's a big problem, all right, sir.
We just got to figure out.
La. Gladly. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so what's the problem with him nodding off? It's not Army statement. We know that much for sure. Okay, that doesn't really do anything for that, I don't think. The robbery report was from a year ago, so that's not gonna matter at all.
No.
Glasses don't matter. Email doesn't matter again. I don't think that's gonna be it. Not the orb transfer. I just don't know what it could be.
Study diagram?
Maybe the area was blocked off? Well, now that I know we're in the right spot, I'll go ahead and just save here to make it a little easier when we mess this up 17 times in a row before we pick the last piece of evidence that it can be.
What's the crime photo? Does that have anything in it? No.
That just has that. I don't see that one going very far.
Would it?
Wait. Coffee.
Oh.
So he would have been away. Never mind. I'm too smart for the game. He was drinking caffeine. He couldn't have been tired. Jeez. I mean, to be fair, I'd see that happen in court. I'm surprised that's not a part of this case.
Right?
Especially since it even has in the thing that there's a coffee stain on the book. That is part of the description of the evidence.
It's weird.
Okay, it's not that though. It's not going to be anything about the Founder's Orb right now. The study diagram. Okay, it's got to be the way the room's built up. Mr. Titian Wimperson allegedly viewed the murder from... Oh, well, yeah, I guess there's a bookshelf there that would cause an issue. So, here. And the doctor was allegedly nodding off here.
Look what's in the way.
But from this vantage point, the bookcase would have blocked the witness's line of sight.
Well, yes, I believe you're right.
But, nah. Oh! The fact remains my client knew that the suitcase was the murder weapon. So he definitely had a first-hand knowledge of the crime scene.
Okay.
I'm afraid I have to agree with you there, Mr. Wright. But then we have to ask ourselves, from what vantage point did he see the murder? What are you insinuating, Mr. Justice? From what vantage point could Mr. Titian Wimperson have seen the dozing doctor? Once we determine that, I believe we'll finally see the truth behind this incident. The witness saw the murder from right here.
The
balcony? Or are we gonna say like right here in the murder pit?
The murder pit.
I guess I'll go ahead and save again.
Yeah.
Because I'm not confident in anything right now. Because I thought we were gonna go along the lines of he's the murderer, but I don't know. Maybe you saw it from.
Maybe he's the person who tried to push Army's wheelchair.
That.
Yeah.
I'm definitely thinking that. I'll say the balcony for right now. You've got to be kidding.
But that...
It is indeed. But everything only makes sense if the witness was there in the study.
Inside the study? But that's the scene of the crime.
I know. Mr. Titcher Wimperson, the man who claims to be a witness of the murder, was most certainly in that very room.
Apollo, are you suggesting...
Mr. Titcher Wimperson, weren't you the one who actually swung that suitcase?
We're pulling a U, Phoenix.
What you're proposing is ludicrous.
You do this all the time, sir.
My client is a small, thin man, whereas Mr. Rebel had the muscular sculpture to pull it off.
Muscular sculpture?
Yeah,
you mean musculature?
Yeah, that one. Nah, he's a muscular sculpture, man. He's a sculpture of an...
Oh my
He has
God.
a point. I give up trying to lift that thing after one go. That's right. He's the only one who could have lifted such a heavy object. Now do you understand? The Rebel Dad's a rebel who's the doctor's killer.
As long as the suitcase is the murder weapon, the suspicion falls entirely on Dats. You'll have to poke a hole in Mr. Wright's argument somehow, Apollo.
Oh, I will, and with his own technique, no less.
Yeah.
If Mr. Wimperson couldn't swing the suitcase around, we'll just have to consider another way he could have used it as a murder weapon instead.
Yep.
I'm going to turn this case on its head, Mr. Wright, just like you taught me. You talk big, Mr. Justice, but do you have what it takes?
Well, this should be interesting. Interesting.
Mr. Wimperson's testimony has been filled with one inaccuracy after another. First, he said that Dr. Buff was in the front of the bookshelves. Now he claims that the doctor was sitting at his desk. So where was the victim really when he was killed? Also, where was his killer, and how was the murder weapon really used?
So the important thing here is the position of the victim and killer relative to each other.
Yes, Your Honor. If they were positioned in a certain way, it would be possible to use a suitcase as a weapon without lifting a finger. You can't mean...
That he, like, dropped it on his head, maybe?
I would ask the court to recall the study's layout. It's quite distinctive, as you can see. Now, if Dr. Buff were sitting in a certain spot, and his killer was in a certain other spot, the suitcase would have become a weapon anyone could use. What?
Anyone?
Very well, Mr. Justice. Where was Dr. Buff's killer at the time of the crime?
Okay. I'm gonna go on a limb here. And I'm gonna say that that the killer was like right here.
What?
Like right here, and then Dr. Buff was at the coffee bar, which might be why there was coffee on his...
How could the murder have been committed from there?
Listen, okay? I'm trying my best
What do
here,
you
damn it.
mean? He'd still have to lift it.
How else would he not lift it? That's
He'd
where I'm
drop
confused.
it from the balcony. Anyone could kill someone by dropping something on their head.
But he'd still have to lift it up to drop it over. I guess, but you're right.
One.
You're right. That can still put homeboy at the coffee bar though. So.
There?
Oh, this should wrap things up nice and pretty for you, Mr. Wright.
Anyone can push something off.
I would ask the court to recall the study's layout, but this time instead of thinking in 2 dimensions, let's think in 3. Only then can we clearly see the killer's method of work. Whoop 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 whoop.
Ooh, there's that weirdness.
The killer would have to swing the suitcase. And you just push it through the stairs.
Yeah, exactly.
Too. If he used gravity to his advantage, that is. That's right. It was the plaintiff, one politician Wimperson, who used the suitcase. He pushed from the 2nd floor.
Yeah, anyone could do that. Especially with the wheels.
And sent it hurling down onto Dr. Buff, who was sitting at the coffee bar.
If it had wheels, I think it did.
I think it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he turns into Luke at me for a second.
It's a weird limbo, man. The psychology book had been at the coffee bar, no doubt. The doctor must have set it down there after he finished reading it, or the like. But his blood got on it, which is why the killer thought to hide it in that mountain of books. That's quite an entertaining theory you have there, Mr. Justice.
Oh, don't pull that.
But there's no evidence that the murder took place at the coffee bar. Oh, there is actually. I'm not so sure about that, Mr. Wright.
Yep, this is where the coffee
of the
stain
murder
comes in handy.
occurring at the coffee bar, it exists.
This is where the coffee stain happens because it's the blood and the coffee.
Yeah, the evidence does exist, and I'm going to show you. You are? They didn't even give us the picture.
Yeah.
This right here proves that the murder took place at the coffee bar.
Right there.
Beep, beep, boop, bop, boop, bop. Bam. Nailed it.
There we go.
This brown stain was determined to be coffee. What's more, it was still a bit damp when we saw it yesterday morning. Ugh.
You okay?
One look at this book speaks volumes, I'm afraid, Mr. Wright.
But which volume is it?
72. I remembered it clearly. It tells us the doctor was having a cup of coffee at the coffee bar.
There's supposed to be a pun, but okay.
I know, I just have to be my weird self.
I
That's
know.
when the suitcase came hurling down, striking him on the head, causing both his blood and his coffee to spatter onto it. Well, Mr. Jason Wimperson? What motive could about having to kill that Dr. Buff? And there it is, that final excuse cornered killers are so fond of.
Yeah. What's my motive?
Well, the doctor never returned your crystal to you, did he? Instead, he hid it in the cave ruins. Telling him that the Divine Dragons were a dangerous bunch was a huge blunder. All it did was make him hide the orb. Your lie came back to bite you in the end. Even worse, the doctor saw the news reports, so he knew the relic was the Founder's orb. Being the conscientious researcher he was, he knew he had to return it to its rightful place. And that meant keeping it out of your hands. You were so angry that he refused to return the relic to you that you killed him with your own hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Attition Wimperson? Oh no.
Again.
That is... Oh.
Phoenix.
Here we go. Apollo! Please don't accuse my client of murder.
What's going on? Something's happening.
Huh?
There's some kind of
What do you mean, don't accuse him?
blackmail or something.
Why would you even say that, Mr. Wright? What I meant was, he's a promising politician with a bright future ahead of him. It's in our nation's best interest to avoid burdening him with the taint of scandal. Say what? Oh, there he goes. More tape. Good
More. Jeez.
God. That's right. Right. You better do something to change the current courtroom climate, or I'll be charged with murder. And you know what will happen to her if that happens.
What?
Which her?
Yeah, which her? Is this another Maya hostage situation?
I don't know. What's he talking about? Well, I can monitor that later. For now.
Is this another one of those have your client get away with murder situations so Maya doesn't get killed type thing?
Mr. Wright, you can't possibly believe that Mr. Rebel is the killer. Are you really going to send an innocent man to prison? I thought you were better than that.
Oh.
Well, Mr. Wright, answer me.
Hey, there's that. The first time we saw that was when that same situation with the killer.
Mr.
And it's
Wright?
happening again.
What in the world's going on here?
Athena, do you know? You seem to know.
If you won't say anything, then... Mr. Wimperson, the defense hereby accuses you of... Oh, God.
Apollo! Wait.
Oh, God. Not you too, Athena.
It's just, I wasn't sure whether I should say anything, but during that last recess, when I went to check on Mr. Wright, I overheard something I shouldn't have.
Oh, boy. I trust Maya is unharmed.
Oh my God!
Damn it.
Maya! I called it. I called it as a joke, but then I called it and it's called.
I mean, once they said, once they said she, I was like, oh no.
Well, her, but
Or
yeah.
her, yeah. I
But
trust Maya's unharmed.
Still, it could have been Pearl too, but.
I can't really say, but just remember, if I'm arrested and fail to obtain the treasure, there will be consequences. Consequences of the worst kind if you catch my drift. Nah.
This has happened before.
Relax. All you have to do is ensure I get my hands on that relic. I must deliver it to my benefactor at all costs. What do they want that relic for anyway? It has something to do with an old legend. My patron seeks the greatest power said to be granted to whoever solves its secret.
Well, a secret's already been solved. No.
Maya? As in Maya Fey?
Yes, the boss's legendary former assistant. Miss Faye. Oh, so I see
Miss
you.
Faye's being held hostage?
So it seems.
Why didn't you tell me that as soon as you heard this?
Sorry, it's just Mr. Wright spotted me before I could slip away. And made me promise not to tell you. He said it would make things more difficult if you found out.
As if things were already hard enough. So that's why Mr. Wright was acting so strange.
Damn, Phoenix.
I had no idea. This must have been excruciating for him.
And we've been him trying to play with this going on before, remember?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Think, Justice. There's got to be something you can do.
Years ago.
Mr. Justice, about that last statement of yours. I believe you're in the middle of accusing the plaintiff of murdering Dr. Buff. Would you care to continue?
I'm sorry, Apollo. I'm really, really sorry.
What's gotten into you two?
Jesus.
If I accuse that slime bag, I put Miss Faye's life in jeopardy. It seems you finally caught on. I'm far too important to be accused of murder. After all, our nation's future rests squarely on my shoulders. Nah. Either I give up or... Poof.
What?
Good as new.
Jeez.
Once I pursue across my patron, my victory is assured. Then one day I'll become president, and then king. I'll have every politician at my command. Now retract your accusation. I can't tell him to... I can't kowtow to him, but the defense would like to retract the previous accusation. Whoa.
Was that
Simon?
No, I think that was Dirk. Yep.
Oh, I had never heard him do an objection, so I wasn't used to that.
No, but
he actually got a line for it.
I recognized his voice. Yeah.
Apollo. Dirk? I don't know what's going on here, but a lawyer should never look the way you do right now, with defeat and resignation written all over your face. Huh?
Whoa.
A dragon never yields.
A dragon never yields. It's my line, not whatever voice that was. Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaws firmly into its prey to the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get to the truth. Dirk, the dragon never yields. He's right. It's all over if I give up now. Mr. Wright's hands are tied. It's up to me to do what must be done. He saved my neck so many times. Now, it's my turn to save his. Dirk, thanks for that wake-up call. Now that's the face of a lawyer you've got there, son. Well, where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm going to find the way to save Miss Faye and see that justice is served.
Oh boy. Good luck with that.
Big brain move.
Here we go.
A big brain to save Maya.
Yes.
That scumbag is holding Miss Faye hostage to ensure he gets the orb for his patron. And it seems his patron believes in the orb's legend.
I was wondering where she was. I was like, didn't she come back with him?
Yeah, thing is, the founder did appear when the orb was exposed to fire, just as the legend said. If legend is true, then we've already solved the riddle, right?
Yes, we have.
But we didn't actually finish the riddle because we didn't get the mystical powers. So no, not yet.
Oh.
You have not solved the riddle yet. The legend says the founder will bestow great spiritual power when she returns. But if that's true, it means we haven't solved the whole riddle yet.
I guess.
But how can that be? Are we missing something? Wait, maybe the part about the founder returning should be taken literally. But how would it be possible for a dead person to return to the world?
Channeling.
Channeling. The founder can return through channeling.
Yep.
Because you can see her face.
Uh-huh.
That's actually an interesting thing
Oh,
there. She kept her face
yeah.
hidden so no one could channel her until the
they
day it was
solved
revealed
that.
and solved that. Then she could be channeled.
Then
Oh, I
she
know.
would technically return.
Yeah, there is a way for the dead to return. Spirit channeling. Of course, you have to know what the founder looks like first. But the orb has revealed her face to us, so what if it's a sign we should channel her? Given the facts, in order to solve the riddle and receive the founder's power, I need
A spirit medium.
I need to practice, channeling. I can do this too. Just give me 17 years. I can do it. A medium is needed to obtain the power.
Yep.
Bring Maya Fey to us. The ability of a medium to channel spirits is the final key unlocking the secret door or secret. That means Mr. Whippers and patron will need one too.
Yep.
And once that Simon Paul just realizes that, he won't be able to lay a finger on Miss Fey.
Oh, true, yeah. Boom.
Brained it. Everything's going to be okay, Mr. Wright.
I big brained it.
Because Mr. Politician Wimperson can't afford to harm a hair on Miss Fey's head. Huh? Mr. Wimperson, seems you've chosen the wrong person to take hostage. What do you mean? Your patron seeks to solve the orb's riddle, and thereby receive great spiritual power. However, only Maya Fey can truly give them what they really want. She can.
Come on, Phoenix.
What do you mean, only Maya Fey? Think about what the return of the founder really means. We should have considered it more literally. After all, the orb was made in the kingdom of Karain, the birthplace of spirit mediums. I think I see now. You need to know what the deceased looks like in order to channel them.
Mm-hmm.
But in Karanism, depicting the face of the founder is taboo. However, her true face was hidden in the orb. So maybe the orb is telling us to try channeling the founder.
Yep.
Exactly. Through a spirit medium, the founder can quite literally return. And if the legend is true, the founder just might bestow spiritual power on someone when she's done.
When she does.
When she does.
When she's done.
That's like when Pearl's imbued a megaton with spiritual power. Oh, don't tell them there's a second
I was gonna
spirit
say-
medium that can do this that's in the States right now. On that one. If a human could be imbued with such power in a similar manner, it is said the founder possesses immense spiritual power. Such a great feat would not necessarily be beyond her. But wait a second, then the legend is true? Do you understand now, Mr. Attition Wimperson? You're holding hostage the final key to unlocking the orb's secret. And if anything were to happen to her, the riddle would remain unsolved forever.
Yep.
Oh, fuck, I broke it again.
How many times has he broken that thing now? And does he just have a roll of tape in his pocket?
Apparently. There's always Pearl Fey. I could simply ask her to help. If she wants money, I have plenty to offer.
She won't do it.
She's not the kind of person to be tempted by material gain.
Nope.
And she certainly wouldn't help you if anything were to happen to her cousin.
You son of a bitch!
Or maybe you'd like to go ask the Queen of Karain to channel the founder for you. He could, but he'd probably get executed for requesting such a thing. It's over. Now confess, you killed Dr. Buff, didn't you? It was supposed to end this way.
Mr. Attition Wimperson, are you admitting to committing a crime?
You know what? I'll let you guys think about this for 23 and a half hours.
Oh my god, no!
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. The world may never know. I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point, but would I admit it or not? That's the question here. Doug Dimmadome, Moment Jim Dimmadome. Not right. I'm a politician, owner of the politician deli wagon over there. They carry me on with my people that never sleep or never eat. They simply breathe through osmosis. That's how they live.
What?
I'm a weird man, I tell you what.
Makes no sense.
I make no sense.
Even as a bit, that's the next level of nonsensical bits.
And that's my forte.
Yeah, you're right.